President Trump announcing that more troops will be going to Afghanistan. This is a major shift from his position before taking office, when he felt the U.S. should immediately get out of Afghanistan. So how do the president's most passionate supporters feel about this change and other recent news events? I sat down with a group of Trump voters from Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Alabama, and Georgia, some of whom even volunteered for his campaign, to see how they feel today and to get the pulse of the people. The president is going to increase troop levels in Afghanistan. Show of hands, who's comfortable with that? Everybody would like to see troop levels go up in Afghanistan. Tell me why, Bobby.
I think it's a serious problem that we've kind of not taken that seriously in the last 8 years of Obama. And this is what he said he was going to do, that he was going to.
But no, he didn't. When President Obama was increasing troop levels, President Trump, then Donald Trump, tweeted, we should get out. This is silly. We should rebuild the U.S. We should leave Afghanistan immediately. We have wasted an enormous amount of blood and treasure in Afghanistan. He wanted to get out.
And how many generals did he talk to before he tweeted that?
None. Now he's
was that in between celebrity apprentice shows?
Now he's a dynamic president.
Go ahead, Ollie.
He didn't have the information at that
Why
time.
is he tweeting about it?
Why is he tweeting
he
about
can.
it?
Every other American tweeted.
Because he can.
Yeah.
So then he didn't know what he was talking about.
No.
He did not have
He didn't have the facts.
he didn't have the
American.
information he has today, which is completely different.
We have generals, we have military experts, we have to trust what they say.
Had Obama listened to them in Iraq, we may not be here with ISIS.
President Obama had way more troops over there.
And Donald Trump at the time didn't like that.
Yeah, but he's trying to end it.
Still doesn't.
Them generals said, send 4,000 over there, and we're going to try and end it.
And don't you think that President Obama was trying to end it?
No.
He pulled out.
No.
Too soon. He pulled out too soon.
But President Obama had a surge as well.
Right.
So he was trying to do the right thing as well.
He surged Afghanistan?
Yes, 2011. So now President Trump will be trying a surge.
And you had a lot of military people saying that Obama didn't listen to them. That he was telling, that they were talking to him, and he was just ignoring
Different
what they said.
commanders-in-chief.
You have a lot of military generals and people that came out saying that he was not paying attention
I understand.
to
I'm just
his
trying to
orders.
understand the consistency of it's bad when President Obama does it, it's good when President Trump does
No,
It's only-
I
That's
can't
not
say
what we're
that.
saying.
We have generals, we have military experts, we have to trust what they say.
They know what
And if they're telling us this is the
They're
best
advising
thing,
our
the right
president,
way.
and we're behind all of it.
it. Okay, North Korea. Go ahead, tell us what's funny.
Kaboom! What are we waiting for? No. I like the way he's handling North Korea.
And how is he handling it? Describe it to
Tough.
us.
He has to be tough because he's dealing with craziness. And I think
about
that
mentally
I think as
unstable.
commander-in-chief that he's been a lot more disciplined. If he can do that everywhere else.
And, you know, it's almost chilling. There was a video of President Trump being interviewed, then a civilian, then Donald Trump, in 1999. And he was asked about North Korea. And he said, what are we going to do? Wait for them to have missiles pointed at us before we act, before we do anything?
Boy.
And look at the situation now. Look where their nuclear program has escalated to. And so I think that Kim Jong-un has run around unchecked in that part of the world for a long time.
Some people you hear talking about President Trump's mental instability. Congresswoman Jackie Speier, let me read to you her tweet. The president is showing signs of erratic behavior and mental instability that place the country in grave danger. Time to invoke the 25th Amendment.
Whatever.
She's looking for her own 15
Whatever.
minutes.
President Trump is smarter than anybody in this room.
Amen.
He has made millions of dollars. He knows what he's doing. And for her to think he's mentally, what in the world? Why would you think that guy's mental? He ain't mental. You know, we had two choices, Hillary and him. And if Hillary was the president right now, what do you think would be going on in North Korea? What do you think the stock market would be doing?
What do you think would be going on in North Korea?
North Korea, that guy would probably have already done something. I know the stock market wouldn't have gone up.
Trump is the world's biggest troll. Everybody falls for it every day, hook, line, and sinker. He loves controlling the narrative, you know? He's turned into Trump is public enemy number one. Let's be honest. Okay? Republicans hate him and Democrats hate him. You know why they hate him? Because he threatens their existence.
Again, but how is this helpful to the country?
The swamp
Because that's for the media. That's for the media to chew on and make everybody go hysterical while he's there actually getting things done.
I don't find his Twitter productive, to be honest. I think it draws away from what could be a really positive message coming out of his administration. They have accomplished so much in terms of the economy. You know, the stock market's up around 18%. Unemployment's down to around 4.2%, which is the lowest has since 2002, nearly 20 years. I wish he would tone down the Twitter a little bit so we could focus on what his administration has accomplished.
Robert, what do you think?
Twitter is an effective means for him to communicate directly with all of his supporters, bypassing the media, getting his message directly out.
What about the Republicans, like Senator Tim Scott, like people who are now speaking out saying that they think that the president sort of doesn't have the stability, the moral authority, is what Senator Tim Scott said, to be a leader?
They think if they do this now, that they'll get reelected, if you don't know the truth. That's why I voted for Trump. I'm for business. And they bring this stuff up, civil rights. Man, I went through civil rights in the 60s in Alabama. This ain't nothing. You know, they got 100, 200 people up there, and everybody's blowing it up. And those people don't represent Trump. No. And one of them don't represent Hillary.
And if Hillary was president, there would still be protesting the taking down of the statue. There would still be white supremacists out there, and there would still be Nazis. You know what? For 8 years, we heard Obama say that we can't refer to terrorists as Islamic radical terrorists because it empowers them and increases their numbers. But for 8 months, I've heard the left call Trump supporters white supremacists and Nazis with no fear at all that's going to increase their numbers or empower them.
But the analogy there is that if President Trump was so angry that President Obama wouldn't call it for what President Trump thought it was, radical Islamic terror, why didn't he immediately call out neo-Nazis? Why didn't he call it what it is?
If saying radical Islamic terrorists empowers the terrorists and increase their numbers, then why calling us white supremacists and Nazis doesn't increase their numbers or empower them?
How do you know it doesn't empower them?
Well, obviously, then why don't you stop saying it?
Exactly.
You don't want them to grow and empower.
Exactly.
Your logic, hold on, your circular logic is confusing. If President Trump wants evil to be called out, why didn't he call neo-Nazis by name at first?
He didn't have all the facts.
He didn't know the facts.
Because he just came out on TV. It just happened.